Hello, how's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. January 24th. It's January 24th, and still, I don't know if it's even a shock these days or not, Arsenal have made no signings. Still nothing is happening. I'm not sure anything will, to be honest, because so far it's been quite gruesome. I'm not gonna lie, it's been quite heavy, quite dark, given the fact that we are linked with everyone signing nobody, and on top of all that, it looks like we could lose some players, and I'm not talking about the main squad, I'm talking about the youth players, and that is also bad because overall, yes, you lose youth players. That is an acceptable thing ultimately, but at the end of the day, it's not a good look if you do it consistently, and on top of that, you let quite a few go. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about, of course, about Arsenal versus Wolves. We face them tomorrow. Tomorrow's the game. Arsenal must win, of course. Every single game for Arsenal currently is a must-win game. No exceptions. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about all that. We're gonna look at some transfers because, as I said, 7 days left in January, and we still haven't signed nobody. So let's see and wait. Let's see and talk about this and see what gives. But yeah, if you haven't already, of course, smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Leave your thoughts down in the live chat. We're gonna tackle them. We're gonna discuss them. I'm gonna give my opinion on them. You can give yours. And of course, if you're watching this as a playback, leave your thoughts down below because I answer to pretty much every single comment so we can have some nice chill discussions. But yeah, here we go. We're kicking things off today with, well, Zinchenko, because the rumors today still persist about the fact that Zinchenko is still expected to be leaving Arsenal in this January transfer window. It was reported that Borussia Dortmund wanted to sign Gabri Veiga from Chelsea. Apparently that deal has fallen through. He's moving somewhere else. And now apparently Zinchenko is on top of Borussia Dortmund's list to sign for, I don't know, left back, midfield, who knows. I can bet you can bet your sweet cookie that if he signs for Borussia Dortmund, he will not be a left back, but a midfielder, I guess. The thing is, though, these all news were still out while Nuri Sahin was the main manager of Borussia Dortmund. Of course, losing to Bologna 2-1 from being 1-0 up in Champions League put some spanner into works, let's just put it that way, because Nuri Sahin got sacked. And currently, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen at least any reports as of yet, Borussia Dortmund is without a manager. So the question is the big one. Since Sahin is sacked, will Zinchenko move this January? Because according to reports and links and all that stuff, he was most heavily linked with move to Borussia Dortmund. And I'm not sure with Sahin gone that could still be active. Obviously, I might be wrong. This also could mean that they're gonna still sign him and it was just for Borussia Dortmund, but who knows. But yeah, Zinchenko is still expected to be leaving this January transfer window. Time will tell if it's gonna happen or not. Personally, I don't care. He can leave, he can stay. If he doesn't leave now, he must leave in summer. One of the two, ultimately. The thing is about this one though, this January transfer window has been, well, non-existent for Arsenal. Let's just put it that way. It is what it is. But it also kind of stinks a bit, like it did in summer. We had to sell to buy. As weird as it sounds in terms of Arsenal. Even though the PSR reports have come out, Arsenal have no issues, we can spend the money and all that stuff. Arsenal are still not spending money in this transfer window, which just shows that our ownership is not serious about signing players, about actually achieving some greatness, about winning trophies or anything like that. Because when Kroenke bought Arsenal, he said, I didn't buy Arsenal to win trophies. And pretty much that has been quite reflected into actions he has done. On the other hand, if you look at the flip side of things, you kind of cannot judge them for not giving any more money because they have given Mikel Arteta over 700 million. He has basically squandered it all over the place, not in the attack, obviously. But yeah, and he doesn't want to give them more. And that actually also makes quite a bit of sense, to be honest, when I look at these things. So pick and choose. Pick and choose. Is Arteta at fault? Are Kroenke at fault? Or are they both at fault on some level, ultimately? Because Kroenke's hired the guy. They bagged the guy. And the guy is basically, well, losing the money. Ultimately, it kind of feels that type of situation where you lend someone money, they don't pay you back, you see them on daily basis, and that guy who gave you the money kind of has a weird look, he's looking quite suspiciously at the guy who he gave money to. That kind of feels that what's happening between Kroenke's and Arteta at the moment. Yet on top of that, Arteta has the nerve to come out in interviews and say that we haven't invested into attack like other teams have. Well, he had the chance, he just didn't do it, so that is on him. And now he's coming out in interviews, and we're gonna look into pre-match press conference. He has come out and said basically that he needs more signings. He basically has made a plea to Kroenke to give him money to sign players, or basically for Kroenke to ultimately sign some players, because the squad is too small, it's too thin, it doesn't have enough players, and it's not going too well in that regard. So I guess it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see how this develops, how this goes. But yeah, ultimately, I guess, I don't know. They both are at fault to some extent. Let's just put it that way. Ultimately, now, one thing I need to check. One thing I want to check about the live chat, because nothing... I had a very weird thing happen to my OBS, so I don't know if this is working properly, ultimately. If this is working properly. So I need to check and try this one out. Is it working? It's not working! What the hell is this? My live chat is not working. I thought so. I was doing this, I was kinda... Oh no, it's working. Here we go. It's working. Okay, all good. Fixed it quite quickly. Anyways, moving on from Alexander Zinchenko, we are moving on to I don't know why. What is happening to X today? Anyways, we are moving on to this, to Josh Nichols. Sorry, Aiden Heaven. Josh Nichols, my bad. Aiden Heaven. According to Fabrizio Romano, Aiden Heaven could be leaving. Manchester United have made contact with the Arsenal's 18-year-old talent Aiden Heaven, and United are leading the race to sign Heaven, while even also Eintracht Frankfurt and even Barcelona apparently have made approaches. Arsenal apparently have also offered a deal to sign this contract. Basically, what is happening with this is the fact that Heaven's scholarship contract is coming to an end. His scholarship contract is coming to an end, and he needs to be offered a somewhat professional contract. Since he's 18 and everything, he needs to get a professional contract, proper money and everything. So basically, that's what happens all the time in world football when youth teams' scholarships come to an end. Some bigger teams try to pick them off. We have done it to some other teams. Other teams have done it to us on multiple occasions. However, if there was any necessity to add fuel to the fire, yesterday, of course, in Europa League, Manchester United played against Glasgow Rangers. It was quite an interesting game, to be honest. They won in the last seconds, 2-1, and Aiden Heaven was in the attendance as Manchester United beat Rangers yesterday. The Red Devils are confident to bring him into the club, despite a new Arsenal deal proposal and Eintracht Frankfurt approach. That is also according to Fabrizio Romano. Ultimately, quite a few teams are in for him. They view him as a big talent. I want him to stay at Arsenal. I know it sounds weird because to some extent I don't follow the youth team under 21s as much as I follow them on X only. I see the results and I look at some performances. I don't follow them religiously, but Aiden Heaven was with Arsenal's team in pre-season. He looked somewhat decent. He needs to mature a bit, of course, but he actually can play some proper ball. And the biggest thing is United already took Chidobe Martin off us. That is one thing. That happened in the summer. Arsenal also, like that, lost Omari Hutchinson. They let go of around 20, if not more, youth academy players in the summer. And that is not a good look for any player in the under 20s and everything in that system, because if it shows anything, it's basically that Arsenal don't value maybe their young talent as much. Obviously, breaking into Arsenal's main team currently in specific positions is quite hard and nearly impossible, for example, because breaking into Saka's position is impossible. In Odegaard's position, well, Arsenal fans would argue, some Arsenal fans at least, there is a chance, but of course Mikel Arteta has Odegaard as his love child, so it's not happening. Breaking into center back is also very difficult with Gabriel and Saliba there, goalkeeper as well. So there are certain positions which are on lock and unpenetrable, if that makes sense, but they can get chances. Heaven has played for Arsenal in multiple occasions, in multiple games and everything, and it has worked fine. He has actually been somewhat decent. And long term, he actually could be a proper backup for Saliba. Saliba's contract runs out in 3 years. And no, 2 years, sorry. And it's still uncertain what's gonna happen with Real Madrid's interest, whether they're gonna sell him, buy him, or they're gonna wait till his contract runs out and then try to sign him for free, like they did with Mbappe, Rudiger, and other players they have done before. It still remains to be seen. But the big thing is there's still 2 years. There is still time, for example, for Aiden Heaven to train, to get better, to learn, and actually to maybe when actually Saliba leaves, if that was supposed to happen, he actually could break into the team. There would be a spot open for that right center back spot. So that is for me the big thing. I'm sick and tired of losing these youngsters for free and everything. Then we get some percentages of the sell-on fees because that's what's basically required in this level. But yeah, it's hella annoying, it's hella pissing me off. I'm not gonna lie, the fact that United are coming in, we are losing some of our best talents. And it's not just a one-off, it's on consistent basis, and that's what's very annoying. Big up Nathan, big up my guy. How are you doing today? How are you doing this beautiful Friday? But yeah, Aiden Heaven, as much as, you know how this is. I put this tweet from Fabrizio in the group chat and people said, oh, why are we concerned about Aiden Heaven, right? It's not that I'm concerned. It's more about the principle of the fact that we are losing our best talent slowly but steadily. That for me is the big thing. Because we had Charlie Patino, the next Aaron Ramsey. He got pretty much ruined and now he is a bench warmer pretty much in Spanish second division for Deportivo La Coruña. We lost Amari Hutchinson to Chelsea, where he played like 90 minutes overall, and then they sold him for 20 plus million to relegation candidates Ipswich Town. Then we lose Chidobe Martin for free, again to Manchester United, and now it's looking like it could happen again with Aiden Heaven. And that is the big thing. It's not that I'm glazing over these young players, but the fact is we all cussed Mikel Arteta for not integrating youth team players, not developing them, not promoting them into the main team and not giving them a chance. This season, due to various circumstances, let's put it that way, he has put in Wanyeri, he has put in Miles Lewis-Skelly and stuff like that. Obviously, there's Max Dauman, who maybe next season actually could play in the Premier League for Arsenal, but this season he cannot, obviously, he's 15. But yeah, ultimately, this is the biggest thing for me. It's not that the fact that, let's not pretend that we don't care. As much as you can maybe follow only the Arsenal's main squad, the big team, it still matters. Because for Arsenal, it's not a good look when your young players from your system are just leaving like that. You sack half of them off, like you did in the summer, which just basically gives an inkling what could happen for the other youth players that are still in the system. That is the big issue here. And I think Aiden Heaven actually could have some future at Arsenal. Potentially. Who knows how this will develop. But obviously it will take some time. So obviously time will tell, but it's not looking good. It genuinely is not looking good at least right now for Arsenal. It's not looking good at all. Moving on from Heaven, this is a tweet that I thought was very interesting. Today even. Today someone tweeted this tweet. We scammed Arsenal, they say. That's basically what Chelsea are saying. Kai Havertz, 65 million. And he has scored 8 goals in Premier League this season, 14 goals in all competitions. Now, if we look at Chelsea, Mudryk, Neto, Sancho, João Felix, and Nkunku combined have scored 6 goals. I'm not backing tweets like this. I don't like tweets like this. But ultimately, it's an interesting one. Let's just put it that way. Because what Chelsea have done, they signed Mudryk for nearly 100 million to replace him then with Jadon Sancho, with Neto for about 60 million, and then they replace him with Sancho again for about 40-50 million. It's kind of weird situation going on there, but it's Chelsea's business and everything. But people tell them it's a flop, but yeah, it's not a comparison, I would say, because those players are predominantly wingers, not forwards. They are not played in striker roles, for example, like Kai Havertz is for Arsenal. And this doesn't also justify the fact that Kai Havertz is good enough for Arsenal. Yes, he has 14 goals in all competitions now, right? He has 14 goals in all competitions. But that doesn't kind of mask over the fact that he actually could be on 20 plus goals already this season. If he could finish on consistent basis, if he was more clinical, if he didn't miss from 2 yards out, he didn't miss empty net chances, he could head the ball properly, because against Zagreb he should have been on a hat trick. Against United he had 2-3 chances to score. Every single game he gets at least 2-3 chances to score. A very good ones, by the way, in front of open net. And it's a shock that he manages to miss all of them. He goes for a header, hits it with his shoulder. He tries to shoot, and he scuffs the shot. And that is the biggest thing with Kai Havertz. Because if we had a proper striker in Kai Havertz's position, he would actually bag some of the chances that they miss. So if Kai Havertz is on 14 goals this season in all competitions, let's be real. A proper striker up front would bag about 20 plus goals already in all comps for Arsenal. It's just the fact that this Havertz Defense League, or however you want to name it, basically what they're doing is thinking that Havertz is the best thing since sliced bread. They're protecting him like no tomorrow, and they think that he cannot do no wrong. They also are scared to admit that Mikel Arteta got it wrong, that Kai Havertz is not the guy. He is not the guy. He can be a guy at Arsenal from the bench or something, but 65 million, nearly 300 grand a week for a bench player also seems kind of over the insaneness, but it is what it is. But yeah, he is not the guy to be the main man. Big up BBK, big up Shameless. No, I didn't tweet that. I'm just talking about it. I don't know how Chelsea get away with so. That is the big thing. They spend 1.7 billion, but the contracts they have 8 to 10 years. It's not a way I would go about signing players, but that actually allows them to kind of avoid the FFP and PSR rules to some extent. And even if they have spent about 1.7 billion, right? They have signed about, like, let's just say 50 players, 60 players. It's more or less could be inevitable that they get hit with a transfer ban. But they are already prepared for that. They have signed enough players. And let's be real, when they're gonna sell them due to long contracts and everything, they will get back some money. And that also will kind of balance out the checkbooks for them. So ultimately, whether you like it or not, they have done things differently. They have found a loophole in the system, and they have exploited it to the max. And yes, short term, it's never gonna work. Long term, it also should not work. Time will only tell what's going to happen with Chelsea due to these contracts and everything, but ultimately, it's not a good look overall. Anyhow, Mikel Arteta has spoken on these two frauds in the team, and he said basically that Arsenal have not thought and will not think about sending Norberto Neto or Raheem Sterling back to their parent clubs. Basically, Sterling back to Chelsea and Neto back to Bournemouth. The big thing about this is, though, the fact that Sterling cannot even be sent back. Genuinely, Sterling cannot even be sent back, as much as I would want to. Let's be real, because he was useless against Dinamo Zagreb and he has been god-awful throughout the whole season. Like, there are points in players' careers when they just need to look at themselves and say, I'm just not it anymore. I can be somewhat decent, but I'm just not it, ultimately. But yeah, Sterling doesn't have a recall clause, basically, in his contract, so we cannot send him back. Neto as well. It doesn't look like Arsenal are going to send him back. That is the downside. The upside to this, though, is the other thing. If we have these two loanees from Premier League teams, it means that by rules of FA, there is no chance we can actually sign Marcus Rashford on loan. That is the plus side of this. That seriously is the plus side to this, so let's just put it that way. That is the only upside I can see from from this situation ultimately. Besides that, they both are pretty useless. Neto hasn't played a single second, and Sterling, well, I don't know why we even signed him, because when he has played, he hasn't done anything special. Big up Curtis. Curtis tweeted this out, and I totally agree with this. Exactly. Everyone's happy that we cannot sign Rashford. Everyone's super happy because that's by fair rules. 2 loanees from one league, and that is the happy days. The Kroenkes aren't serious. We need signings at the start of the window, especially with the teams we have played this month. A signing now might be too late. Man City have signed 3 players, and we have missed out on Kvaratskhelia. Gyökeres and Osimhen both have release clauses, and we can easily sign them. Arsenal are just not doing it. Whether it's on Arteta, whether it's on Kroenkes, go figure. Genuinely, go goddamn figure. This one is the shameless one. Our captain, Martin Odegaard, has spoken in media. And our captain has said, every time we drop points, we come in the next day and we're even more hungry. This is what our captain, Martin Odegaard, Snodgaard, Pillowguard, more hair flicks than passes during games, has said about Arsenal, how we are playing. I'm not sure how to go about this, I'm not gonna lie, but basically, if I judge it by the performances on the pitch, I don't see it. I kid you not, I genuinely don't see it. Where do they come even more hungry? Because when I watch Arsenal play, sometimes I feel like it's getting worse by the second we play. We are on fire for the first 20-25 minutes, and then basically it's like we lose energy, we start to become again dull, boring, half asleep, snorefest type of Arsenal. And given the recent results, I'm not sure as well that they are actually hungry, because certainly on the pitch it doesn't look that way. I know it sounds weird, I know it sounds kind of harsh to say, but that's how it looks like from outside looking in. I'm just gonna put it that way. Big up Harry, big up Arsenal Manic, big up everyone. But yeah, this is kind of nuts. Martin Odegaard has said this and I don't get it. Best thing for Odegaard is to stop talking too much and being a captain on the pitch. Exactly. That is the best thing Odegaard could do. I'm still waiting for that moment when Martin Odegaard will show up, figuratively speaking, as a captain. Because he comes out and says all these things that everyone's even hungrier. We can do this, we can do that. We have great bunch of guys. I get goosebumps when I hear North London forever and everything. But when you watch him play, no chance in hell. No chance in hell. He backs out from tackles. Oh, but he presses a lot. Okay, cool, but that's not everything to the game. Genuine, no passing, no assisting properly. He cannot score. Oh, he scored against Zagreb. Okay, cool. He scored against Dinamo Zagreb. I guess he found his level. Because his shot since that ankle injury has been dreadful. He cannot hit a barn door. His shot power is weaker than my 6-year-old can hit a ball, basically. I don't know what's going on. Either he's not fully healed, either he has lost confidence in himself, or what. But he genuinely has been quite awful. Oh, he looks great. Yeah, he looks great when the team is playing great. The thing is, he is one of our main guys. If you were just now asking, like, out of nowhere, name 5 most important players for Arsenal, most of the Arsenal fan base will say Saka, Gabriel, Rice, Saliba, and Odegaard. He's our captain. Martin Odegaard's our captain. Yet, when it comes to the matter, he just disappears. He doesn't perform. He's not it. When Odegaard was injured, Saka carried the team like he was doing even before that. Saka is out. Odegaard should be the guy carrying the team. What is he carrying? Carrying his own hair? He's snot in his hair, using it as a hair gel, or what? I just don't get it. Because he definitely is not carrying the team. He disappears again and again and again and again. It's like, I don't know, that ankle injury has ruined him. Confidence-wise or what, I don't know. But maybe that goal against Zagreb will help him. Who knows? Because for Arsenal to actually be very dangerous, very annoying for opponents to play against, We need Odegaard to play on top of his form. And he hasn't been on top of his form, dare I say, this season at all? Genuinely, he hasn't been on top of his form this season whatsoever. He has had some decent performances, some very good performances, but nothing exceptional. Like last season he was at times. Like 2 seasons ago when he had very consistent and very good performances. And top gooners were trying to tell me, oh, once Odegaard comes back from injury, he's gonna be reunited with Saka and everyone. He is the creative spark we are missing. He's gonna create loads of chances. He came back and he did nothing. He's gone worse. No confidence, no nothing. Then on top of that, took a month, but Saka is out as well. So there's nothing to it. A winner. Every time we drop points, we come out in the next day and we are even more... a winner, not a winger. Next time, it's laughable to some extent, genuinely. He flicks his hair though. And takes plenty of set pieces. Dude, when was the last time he scored one of those free kicks? The thing is, half the time his set pieces hit the first man. They don't even get past the wall. Or from the corner doesn't get past the first man. When was the last time he scored a free kick? I don't even know. Wait. Against Brighton? Or Crystal Palace? I think? Or Wolves? Something like that. I know about 2 years ago he scored one. That was the last time, I think. We don't score direct free kicks at all whatsoever, pretty much. Tell us about transfer, please. You mean Odegaard getting sold or what? Because their genuinely transfer department for Arsenal is non-existent. Chelsea want to sign Arsenal's youngster Aiden Heaven. That is one of the transfer news. United want to steal another youngster from Arsenal like they did with Chidobe Martin. That is one of the news. And the other one is that Zinchenko is still on Borussia Dortmund's radar for signings. 2 transfer news. Well, there's a third one as well. Where is it? This one. Arsenal could make a move for Victor Osimhen this month according to Footy Insider. That's about it. There is nothing more. It's very silent on Arsenal's front. Although we're gonna look at Mikel Arteta's interview and we're gonna look at it, and he has indicated that Arsenal may be working on something. But ultimately, until I see it, until I see a proper bid going in, until I see someone holding Arsenal's shirt, I'm not gonna be convinced. I'm not gonna get too excited or anything. But yeah, Arsenal apparently still could be going for Victor Osimhen. As we all know, Arsenal don't have PSR issues because it was reported by everyone. Arsenal have the money, at least 51 million to spend since they wanted to sign Zubimendi right now. So we have the money, we are just not spending it. And if we pay the necessary money, it could be the case. It's Šeško or no one. That Šeško is for you or for Arteta? Because I kind of get the feeling that Mikel Arteta wants the Benjamin Šeško specifically. That's it. He doesn't actually want or Gyökeres or Osimhen or someone like that. He only wants Šeško. That's what it feels like in this transfer window. Yeah, for them, exactly. That's what I thought for them. Because the way we are moving for strikers in this window, it's kind of embarrassing to say it least. Anyhow, Lukas Podolski, remember him? Lukas Podolski. The left foot of cannon the guy had, pretty much. Lukas Podolski has spoken on Kai Havertz. And he has said, I don't think it is his position. He is not a striker. Thank you, Paul D. Thank you. Another guy who is saying that he is not a striker. Yet Top Gunner still trying to convince me that he is a striker. This is what Arsenal are missing. A Harry Kane or Erling Haaland who is there as a number 9 and scoring 20-25 goals per season. Kai is a fantastic player, but he is not the classic number 9. Arsenal are close on playing good football. Debatable, but we allow it. But maybe for the next step, to not just win the Premier League, but actually throw a challenge in Champions League, you need this kind of striker. And he's obviously talking about type of Gyökeres, and players like that. And Lukasz Podolski is spinning facts here. Some Gunners still don't want to believe that, so I guess we are where we are. I would take Osman. I would too, to be honest. I would take Victor Osimhen. He's available. Gyökeres is available. Those two, arguably, is the easiest to get. Because you pay the release clauses and sayonara. And that's about it if the player wants to come, pretty much. See, the club cannot do anything about it. With all these Šeškos, Nico Williams has release clause, but Šeškos and other guys, you have to negotiate. And as we all know, Arsenal suck at that. Our fans never pressure the board. No accountability for the owners. So they are cool as things are. Exactly. There is no pressure on the board. No pressure on Kroenke. No pressure on Mikel Arteta. And that is the big thing. Mikel Arteta, for 15 million a year, acts like a human shield for the board and the Kroenke, ultimately. He says these obscure things like the squad is too thin, basically indicating that and pleading for Kroenke to sign players. But is he really, or is it just a front again? I don't even know. But it is what it is. I guess we have to take it for the word that he wants to sign some players and Kroenke are just not letting him to sign. But yeah, there is no pressure on Kroenke because Kroenke said themselves they didn't buy Arsenal to win trophies. No pressure on the board because you don't have to win trophies. And there is no pressure on Mikel Arteta because if Kroenke were serious and actually wanted to put some pressure on Mikel Arteta, they wouldn't give him in September 15 million a year contract. They wouldn't even offer him a new deal until the season ends and they can actually see what he has achieved if they were actually serious. Because if they didn't give him this new contract, they would still be in a good position, for example, to sack him right now. Obviously, to some extent, there is no reason because they can, knowing Kroenke, they couldn't be bothered to find a new one, at least right now. But yeah. If Kroenke were serious, they wouldn't give Arteta 15 million a year. And that is the biggest thing about all of this. So Arteta gets 15 million, he protects the board, he protects the Kroenkes, and everything's happy-chappy. One gets money, other gets protection. That sounded like a weird thing. Scratch that. But yeah, ultimately it is what it is at the end of the day. We just can sit there, be annoyed, speculate, but until the majority rises for Arteta out, nothing's gonna change. Or Kroenke is out or stuff like that, nothing is going to change. And the worst part is, Arsene Wenger, in his twilight last 5 years, won 3 FA Cups, and we basically still were punching each other up in the stadiums and everything, Wenger ins versus Wenger outs. Now Mikel Arteta has won one FA Cup in nearly 6 years, 700 plus million spent, and everyone's happy. Everyone, for some goddamn reason, is happy and accepting this. When Wenger was doing this, nobody cared. Everyone was pissed off. Wenger didn't get 700 million. Wenger was playing actually some proper football. Now we watch, I don't know, Temu version of Jose Mourinho, who gets 15 million a year, plays atrocious half-asleep football, wins nothing, bins every trophy he's in, because by the end of this season, right, by the end of this 24-25 season, 21, out of 21 or 22 available trophies, that's FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Premier League, Champions League / Europa League, Arteta will have won one. One FA Cup with the squad that wasn't his. Then he dissects the squad, spends 700 million, bins the best striker in Premier League at the time in Aubameyang, Golden Boot winning Aubameyang, and does nothing. Bins all the cups in 3rd or 4th round, cannot beat Olympiacos, cannot get schooled by Emery and Villarreal in semi-finals of Europa League, gets done over by Sporting Lisbon at home, gets done by worst Bayern Munich team in a decade, yet the best Arsenal team in the last 15 years, arguably. So, what is happening at Arsenal? Like, what is going on? It's a pure and utter madness, as Arsenal Manic is saying. Pure and utter madness. I don't know. This club is ass backwards, ultimately. Genuinely ass backwards, to say the least. Not sure how this has happened, well, but it has happened. Here we go. I'm no Kroenke fans. I wanted them out long time ago. Same. I still want them out. I just don't speak about it as much. I still want Kroenke's out. If I beg someone comes in and offers Kroenke's about 6-7 billion to buy out Arsenal, I beg that happens. The fact is, I can scream here Kroenke's out, but that's never gonna happen. So basically I'm saying Arteta out. That is arguably the next best thing you can do. Because Kroenke's, they can only lose Arsenal if they want to. If they wish to sell them. Arteta, if actually fanbase turns, if Kroenke see that, they actually could do that. So I'm going for the next arguably best thing. Because arguably that is the best type of business Kroenke can do. Pay 45 million to Mikel Arteta and get the hell out of the club. But it is what it is, we digress. But yeah, I wanted them out a long time ago. However, the money they given Arteta, majority of the signings. Exactly. Arteta has signed 31 players. 31 players. And there's a strong argument that out of those 31 players, at least 20 have been flops. At least 20. And we are not talking about the fact that we have bought about 5 goalkeepers, 6 left backs, 7-8 defenders for the rest of positions, spent nearly 300 million on defense alone. Then about 300 million on midfield, and then 120, 130 in the attack. We are not even talking about that. I assume that's about the Kroenke's business of 45 million. Anyways, the next Odegaard. The next Martin Odegaard. Sver Nipan. Or Nipan, whatever. He has the jawline of Odegaard, by the way, and hair almost as well, just not bleached. Anyways, remember how we were twerking for him? Arsenal allegedly were linked with him. Odegaard apparently behind closed doors is whispering in his ear. No, not in a sexual way. Just trying to convince him to come to Arsenal and everything. And all of a sudden Fabrizio comes out today, 3 hours ago, and tweets this. Norwegian 18-year-old top talent Sver Nipan will be in Manchester in next hours. Understand Nipan's gonna visit Manchester City as they are set to present their plan, including potential Girona loan. Nipan will take his time to decide. Well, who wants to be the next Odegaard? That is the big thing. Nobody. Let's be real, nobody. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just a comparison. The next Odegaard. I really hate these things, by the way. As soon as youngster bursts on the scene, oh, the next Messi, the next Haaland, the next Odegaard, the next Thierry Henry, like Martial was and stuff like that, instantly. How about you let the guy grow, develop, and become himself? Don't put pressure on him to become someone else, especially when you basically compare him to one of the 2 of the best players of all time in Messi and Ronaldo, for example. How about that? Give that guy, take off the pressure of the guy, let him grow and let him develop these days. Exactly, Man City. Rice, baby, dude. Although, to be fair to Declan Rice, for the last, 3-4 games, you could argue he's been one of the best players in Arsenal's team. Even though in the last 4 games, we have lost twice, drawn once and won once, Rice has been one of the best players. The next Joe Willock, oh, fucking... Charlie Patino, the next Aaron Ramsey. He's now playing in Segunda Division in Spain and warming the bench for Deportivo La Coruña, man. Make it make sense. Arsenal, right? It's actually kinda nuts. Arteta out forever till he goes. When is he going? I need the timeline so I can prepare myself mentally for that. I saw a clip of Arsenal fans saying Odegaard is practically Iniesta. No offense, but Odegaard cannot even lace Iniesta's boots. Iniesta has more tech in his pinky than Odegaard has overall. I've seen also Arsenal fans saying on social media that Martin Odegaard is better than David Silva. Remember David Silva from Man City? He also is better than David Silva. Like, when I read these things, I sometimes just it's funny as hell, and it just gives me so many questions to ask. Like, have you been drinking some Kool-Aid you shouldn't have been drinking? Have you drank too much Gatorade or Prime or Red Bull or something like that, or what? It's just, damn. It's funny, but it's hell annoying. Exactly, hell no, exactly, that is the thing. No chance in hell. Yet somehow he is, according to Top Gooners. That it goes in the same category as, to some extent at least, like this. Kai Havertz is like this type of things. It goes the same category basically. But I guess it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, Sver Nipan actually might not be going to Arsenal. Big up Kwame, big up my guy. I'm doing great. How about yourself? Do you think the Kroenkes will listen to Arteta? If I was the Kroenkes, I wouldn't. I would. It's a very biased thing for me to say. Okay, looking for a business standpoint, if they want us to succeed, they have to listen to Arteta. If I'm talking about myself, let's just say I was owning Arsenal. First of all, Arteta wouldn't be the main man, right? But if, let's just say I'm Elon Musk, I have 10 million just as a pocket money lying around in my back pocket, right? I give it to Kroenkes, I buy Arsenal, I sack Arteta, I sack the whole board, and then I hire proper people in charge, and then we go from there. But ultimately, it is as I said. The best business this transfer window Kroenkes can do is pay 45 million to Mikel Arteta and sack him off. That is the best deal they can do. But looking for business standpoint, if I was Kroenkes, I wouldn't give Mikel Arteta money solely for the fact that I have given him 700 million. He had more than enough money to sign a striker and sign proper players. Instead of Havertz, Fabio Vieira, players like that, you could have signed some proper players. Let's not kid ourselves. I was there in the stadium when Iniesta scored in World Cup final in extra time against the Netherlands, right? 2010? 2010? 2010? Yeah, 2010 I think it was. 2010, right? With Vuvuzelas and all that stuff. Arsenal need out-and-out striker, the problem. Exactly, that is the big thing. Arsenal need out-and-out striker. It's not a problem solved for Arsenal because there are lots of other things Arsenal need to sign. We need backup for Saka. We need a proper number 10, potentially. Or at least a backup for Odegaard. We need a left winger. This end of the season, Partey's and Jorginho's contracts run out, which means we need 2 more midfielders. We need actually 3 midfielders. Then there's questions about the left back position. Saliba still doesn't have a backup, by the way. And on top of all that, we don't have a second goalkeeper because Neto is on loan. So we need to sign about 8-9 players still. And that is not including that we need to sell about 6 players. Like Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, Kivior, Merino I would sell, and stuff like that. It's actually Jesus, 6, and there's more. No chance. No, there's no way we have signed. By the way, why are you not on your... If you are Marlon, by the way, why are you not on your Marlon account? Or you change your name? There is no chance, because although you cannot trust the media, because... Or Leipzig even. Leipzig said he's not for sale, but if you pay proper money, right, they will sell. It depends how much you pay. Because people say, oh, it's a difficult market, nobody's available. How comes Kvaratskhelia just went for 70 million? I much rather sign Kvaratskhelia for 70 million than this German giraffe, for example. It's not a difficult market. It just, everything basically rides on the fact, are you willing to pay the money or not? And how much you're willing to pay. That's what it comes to the end of the day. Because money talks, let's be real, especially in this business. What do you reckon an average IQ of an Arsenal fan is? I don't know, a grape? As much as a grape has? We will sign Kubo and Rash. We cannot sign Rashford. We have 2 loans. And according to Premier League rules and FA rules, we have 2 loans from Premier League. And 2 loans are max from Premier League. So we cannot sign Rashford. That is the only plus side with having having Neto and Sterling at the club. Sterling cannot be sent back because there is no callback clauses in his contract. And only way we can sign Rashford is if we terminate the loan contract with Neto, or we sign Neto now full time. Only way. And according to Mikel Arteta, as he said in an interview, and we're gonna get to the pre-match press conference as well, he said this today that Arsenal, oh, it's not here, but Arsenal are, oh, here it is. Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have not thought about sending Neto and or Sterling back to their parent clubs. They are not doing it. So that is the plus side. No to Rashford, exactly, and probably a left wing who can play center back. I'm sick and tired for these multiple. No. We need a striker, 100%. That is one of the main things Arsenal need right now. Specifically, in this stage, we need a striker and arguably another forward, right? But if we look at the whole picture for the summer and everything as well, we need all of those players I named about 5 minutes ago. That is the big issue here. Ah, I see, it's a different account. Osimhen Coleman. Arsenal have bought his release clause and they just want him to sign a contract now. Where have you read this? Where have you read this? I need links. I need photographic evidence. I need the account numbers. I need the phone number of Eto, of Klopp and everyone. I want to hear this on a speaker. Sterling is a complete... Yeah, ultimately. Arsenal pretend they are interested in signing all of the top players, appeasing the fans to sell merch and renew season tickets. Dude, this season, we have won 12 games in Premier League. This season, right? This season as well, we have released 12 different types of merch. And the latest goddamn one, if you play some shooter games or any other game, we know we have released, where is it? Just go. This one. And I kid you not, it says it right here. NPC jacket, non-playable character jacket as Arsenal Direct. Now, I'm not sure if this stage NPC stands for no non-playable character or no players contracted or something like that. No idea. But it's a weird one. NPC jacket. It's the Arsenal way. Our front line. That's the big thing. If you look at our current attack specifically, right? The front three. Half of the Premier League's attacking players are better than our attacking three right now. Half of the Premier League teams, at least. And that doesn't even include half of the team's bench attackers that are better than these three bums we have up right now in Sterling and Havertz and players like that. That is the big thing. Nottingham Forest have better attack. Wolves have better attack, by the way. Crystal Palace have better attack. Bournemouth have better attack. And those are the lower end. No, they are not lower end sides based on the table, but they are smaller teams. I'm not even talking about the big teams. From Šeško's agent. Where is this? I need a tweet. Is it tweeted out somewhere? Source trust me, bro. Basically. We should sign Osimhen. 100%. Be a Kwame, but would Coleman go to... I don't want Coleman. I don't want Coleman. I think its time has passed. Especially with his injury record. And him getting injured consistently. And the physicality of the league. He will get one tackle. His leg will snap in half. And we will have another Jesus in our hands. That is the big thing. Wait, let's check this. Everyone said... Marlon is trying to piss me off, I think. Gabriel Jesus... See? Arsenal have good relationship with Rosenborg and have sought to be respectful in their pursuit of Sverre Nipan, which they hope will enable them to close a deal. This is what David Ornstein said 2 hours ago. Yet... 2 hours ago, Fabrizio tweeted the same thing, only that he is landing in Manchester to talk with Manchester City. Go figure! These journals contradict each other consistently. And go figure which is real, which is not. Big up Arsenal Manic. Thanks for dropping by. Big up my guy. Saka, we don't know how long. Saka is out at least till March. End of March even, maybe. I'm not sure we will even sign anyone. Biggest reasoning behind this is because Vanjeri has come back from injury. He is just back. He played few minutes yesterday and he looked already sharp. And I think that is also a partially reason why we haven't signed a forward this transfer window. Because when Vanjeri got injured, it was already reported that late January, Vanjeri is going to be back. And I think Arsenal hold off signing a forward solely due to the reason they wanted to see how they can get through this. And if Vanjeri comes back, they will not have to sign anyone. I kind of get the feeling. Alex Baena from Villarreal, please sign him. Please send him to Arsenal in a heartbeat. Wait. Arsenal Sesko. Where is Marlon? Where is it, Marlon? Arsenal hope to strengthen their attack this month, with long-term targets like Šeško looking unattainable. See? Šeško looking unattainable. They're now considering alternative targets. Can we someone fucking name these alternative targets for a change? Is it, I don't know, Gyökeres, Osimhen, or is it someone like, oh for fuck's sake, Marwan Shamach level type of player? Or are we gonna re-sign Eddie Nketiah maybe? Who knows? Arsenal are looking to sign Benjamin Šeško from Leipzig. Blah blah blah. Oscars, why the hell is that? Nipan, Arsenal. I love this tweet from Liverpool fan. Arsenal, Benjamin Šeško and Arsenal have agreed that today is Friday and tomorrow is Saturday. That is the perfect tweet to sum up Arsenal's transfer business. Makes no sense, and all of the hype. I get that. But anyways, it's that time. It's that time. You all know. Coneman music. Before Arsenal versus Wolves tomorrow. Let's see what super duper Mick Lego-headed Coneman has said about Arsenal and the game today. Actually gonna be surprised if there are more than 2 questions about the game actually, so we'll see. Here we go. On players potentially returning from injury. Skelly, nothing serious. So Billy Marrow having meeting with medical staff today. We have training sessions, so we'll see whether it's too early or not. and with Willow, that's Saliba, if anyone didn't know that, something similar as well. So basically, I think they'll be back for next week, but this week, I'll see how it goes. So basically, it looks like Skelly and Saliba both will be 100% back for Man City game. We next weekend play Man City. So that they could be back for Man City game next weekend, right? And for Wolves game, it's a 50-50, I guess. Big up, Pepper, my guy, long time no see. Big up. Arteta dodged when he asked about signing a striker. We're gonna get to that. Man City getting Nipan, exactly. I just talked about this. This is the big thing. This is the big thing. Look at this, Pepper. 2 hours ago, Fabrizio Romano tweeted, Manchester City is set ready to with Nipan, right? Look, David Ornstein I think David Ornstein tweeted this as well. Here we go. 1 hour ago. Arsenal have good relationships with Rosenborg, have sought to be respected in their pursuit, which they hope will enable them to close the deal. So basically, 2 hours ago, Romano tweets, he's gonna land in Manchester, and he's gonna see the Manchester offer, and everything. That Fabrizio tweets. Ornstein tweets 1 hour later, Arsenal hope to get him, and they have been very respectful. And of course, they have to put in this buzz phrase, good relationships, football friends, and all that stuff. Same as with Brighton, so we can sign Caicedo. Yeah, that went well. With Sao Paulo, so we can do business after paying 3 million for Marquinhos, who should have been a free signing. Oh, we have never talked with we haven't talked with Sao Paulo ever since. Same thing. Same bloody thing applies here. Anyways, back to this jazz. Top Gunners were pantsing it down over Nipan. Now does the... Exactly. Nipan is a City player. I wouldn't be surprised with Haaland there, 100%. You see, Robo, once we aren't serious getting a player, then our rivals grab... Exactly. And on top of that, it's just not for us getting a player. They even take them from our academy. Hutchinson to Chelsea. Didn't work out, but still, Chelsea made 20+ million on him. Chidobe Martin to United. Aiden Heaven now, yesterday, was at Manchester United game. Talking about his future. His scholarship contract runs out. He needs to sign a professional contract. And instantly, Eintracht, Barcelona, by the way, as well, and United are interested. Arsenal have put an offer on the table, but it doesn't look like he's too interested for now. It's embarrassing. Anyways, on Ben White, he's not available. Well, cool. On whether it's essential we sign a forward in the window. My opinion is clear. We lost 2 very important players in Saka and Jesus, so we lack goals. We lack goals even before that, I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. We lack goals, we lack people. How about the 65 million giraffe? You lost confidence in him or what? And we lack options in the front line. It's clear. Well, that's your fault after 700+ million spent, that you have only spent about 100 of those 700 million in the attack. Rest of the money has gone to defenders, goalkeepers and midfielders. Whose fault is that? Oh wait, it's your fault. Anyways, if we can get the right player, that's we are active. Like, I hate when they say this. I really hate when he says this. If we can get the right player. What is the right player? Can anyone tell me what the right player is? Because this basically can mean he wants Chuba Akpom, Brian Brobby, Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe. Pick your poison. He could want anyone. If the right player. If we can get the right player. It's basically, it's a wish list to some extent. It's make a wish. That's actively looking, but any player, no, we need someone that makes us better. Well, that's easy to do, to be honest. Shouldn't be too hard, but then again, it's Arsenal. And it makes an impact on the team. It's clear that for the period that was a loss, blah, 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 the team still has coped and... Blah. Exactly, make a wish, Zeta. He's waiting for Bobby Charlton. Hendrick's favorite player, apparently. He watched him play. Yeah. But yeah, he's most likely. Exactly, Kalgok Hendrick. He knows him. They're the best. Dude, this is... When Hendrick said that, that was insane, to be honest. Yeah, he will know all about Sir Bobby, exactly. We are linked with we are linked with this and that. Exactly, we are linked with this, with that, with the other, with the third, with the fourth, with everyone. And it was the same under Arsene Wenger, to be fair. The thing is, even in his worst years, Wenger still won FA Cups. He had no money from Kroenke's, by the way, but, well, allegedly. Let's just put it that way, allegedly. But he had no money, yet he still had the pool and proper talent ID, and we are not talking about Henry, Bergkamp, Vieira and players like that. He still had the pool towards slowly twilight of his time at Arsenal to pull Ozil, Alexis, Aubameyang, players like that. Arteta couldn't pull his own chain if his life depended on him. And that is the big issue. Because last big signing in January Arsenal have made was Aubameyang. It was Aubameyang. That was the last big signing Arsenal have made in January transfer window. Aubameyang. And that was when Wenger was still here. So isn't that telling you something? Kroenke must go. David Dean should return. All of them should go. Kroenke, the board, Arteta, Win the Dog, everyone should go. We need a whole new rebuild. We need a rebuild for the rebuild, about the rebuild, because of the rebuild, ultimately. That's what we need. And if the window will close without us bringing in a striker. Someone is asking some good questions. That's an option. Oh, fuck. Isn't that telling everything you need to know? And if the window will close without us bringing in a striker, that's an option. Oh, for fuck's sake. It doesn't depend on us. How it doesn't depend on you? You pay the money. So, it depends on you. Or he means us as in maybe himself and the team. He doesn't include Kroenke's there because of the money. I don't know. It doesn't depend on just Arsenal or Mikel or our will. On Mikel? Why is he talking about himself in the third person? Or is he talking about Mikel Merino? It's hella weird. What the fuck is he saying? It depends on the market and many other factors. No, it doesn't. On if there's war going, of course there is. And if we are considering ending one of our domestic loans, we are not thinking about that. Well, that's gonna work fine with Arsenal fans. On how we've changed since the one opening day game against Wolves. I think we are much better side that since the start of the season in every sense because we have evolved as a team. We've had some very important experiences, the way we have competed through the last 6 or 7 months with everything that has happened. It's outstanding, I think. I don't even know. He's been referring to himself in third person, said to be a sign of madness. Yeah, to be honest, that is the big thing. Referring to yourself in the third person, unless he means Mikel Merino for some weird goddamn reason. It's a bit of a sign of a madness, I'm not gonna lie. On facing a new Wolves manager. He's been here a few weeks already, so we're ready to know what he's like. I know Victor from very well from previous clubs, as well as when he did his time, and it's very clear how he sets up his team. He's had a really good impact on the team, and it will be a really tough match tomorrow. They're really, really well coached team, and especially they're difficult to beat. Well, home games should be like that. On how they differ under Pereira. Nobody cares. On their style, they have done it in different throughout the matches of the opposition, regardless of the results. So that tells you a lot about their intentions. Blah 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 blah. On the threat of Mateusz Cunha and what he poses, basically. I prefer not to talk about individuals. I talk about collective qualities they have, and they do have a lot. Well, that's a BS, to be honest. I prefer not to talk about individuals. He glazes Havertz when he has a chance. He talks about our players singling them out quite consistently. Unless he means he doesn't talk about opposing teams' individuals. Not sure about that one, Chief. Because I 100% can guarantee you he is singling out other teams' players. 100%. He has done it in interviews. It's not the first time. It's a load of bullcrap. On playing well without getting results. That's a fact. But the thing is, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. Nobody's feeling sorry for you. We have to raise our hands. There are certain elements, certain things, certain moments that we have to elevate our standards, or the small margins become huge and they're the reflection of what happens on the pitch. Well, yeah. And if there are any plans about the winter break, no further plans. On our long-term plans for new players. Long-term plans. You have certain resources, the abilities, recruit, certain everything, blah, 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 blah. Bring someone in. On how difficult it is to sign a player to replace an injured player. What? Well, we don't, for how long and how many games he can play. The context has changed a lot, the amount of games we have, the intensity, the demands we put on our players. It's just impossible to think that the player can sustain that. Well, obviously. It's not, if this keeps up, by the way, Timber could be under some injuries, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. There could be something to it. My petition. Hey. Oh. My petition. Kroenke is out, Dean in. On expecting goals against Wolves due to history in the fixture. Yes, thank you for that stat, but for tomorrow's game that doesn't help us, unfortunately. For fuck's sake. And if we can sell players to have a better chance on signing players, it's all about balance as well, and then depending which player it is, if that player is a player that obviously gives us space, well, Havertz gives you space, or limits us again in a certain position. Well, that's Odegaard. It depends. The rules are quite tricky as well. It's not just that you can bring, you can sell. It's actually the resources that are available after that. This waffle is really hurting my brain. White rehab. He hasn't trained with the team yet, but I think he's very close doing that. Okay. And if he wishes, he could rotate himself to have a rest. Who asks these questions? How does this relate to the game against Wolves? Oh, Mikel. What did you have for breakfast? Cheese and omelette? Beans over toast? Cornflakes? Lemons? You squeeze the lemons? What the hell is this? What hair gel do you use? What beard trimmer do you use? What's the best brand to have beard trimmers? Oh my god. On how he has to look after himself. Diet, and I'm doing good. With sleep, I can sleep a little bit more, so I will find the right time to do so. Oh, for fuck. Why are these questions? Why? On how he has to look after himself. You can ask this him in pre-season. Like what he has done to prepare for the season. Has he rested during the pre-season and everything? Okay, cool. During the season, how does this relate to the game against Wolves? Oh, how you look after yourself? Oh, I'm on a diet. Is that gonna help us score some goals? Is that something about tactics, injuries, new signings, Kroenke is out, him resigning? This is just... What Teta will be on the blower to his buddy Southbay to go and eat that meat. He's not, apparently. They might go to Dubai, but it's not confirmed fully yet, I think. On rumors about Heaven's future, I know you cannot talk about anything, this is individual. Or if we can catch Liverpool, the margins are really, really small. Well, it's always about the margins. You can see how good they could have been last weekend, the turning points are minimal, and the gap certainly looks very different. On if they'll have a difficult spell, they normally do, so we have to be there, that's for sure. That's a very long shot to hold on to, by the way. Liverpool will drop points, that's inevitable. The thing is, will Arsenal capitalize on it? And how many points Liverpool will drop? Because for me, the biggest thing is, Liverpool don't lose or don't drop points in 6-7 games in a row. They will drop in 2-3 games, they will go back on winning streak. Arsenal sometimes tend to drop points in 4-5-6 games in a row. Sometimes. And that is the biggest issue here. They can draw 2, win 1, draw 2, lose 1. Or something like that. It could happen. It has happened years before. Or if the squad can absorb players of an older age profile. What? Is this Space Jam? What are we talking about here? If the squad can absorb players of an older age profile. On how Trossard and Martinelli have done in recent weeks. Well, a bit better, that's about it. On if the players say they need new signing in the team. Oh, if players are actually talking about this. Not like that, but I think we'll be in there. They look at each other and we have very, very short numbers for many, many weeks. Well, that's your fault. They recognize the situation, what we all do. That's why we're trying to do what's right for the club, for the team, for the players. That's our intention. Okay, cool. And if the players are consulted on signings, sometimes yes, especially if they do want to, because that's getting away from the computer, what the data's saying and is real. I've seen it, I've sensed it, that the player can score a lot of goals. Great. So how has this player acted when he hasn't scored for 6 or 7 games? This is what I'm interested in. Watch the interview with a player who hasn't scored for 6 games, then what kind of goals he has scored against which teams and in what context. Is it the first half, the second half? Is it only the right foot or is it headers? Always only in open spaces. Does he like the physical contact of this league? There are a lot. He should have done all this before he signed Kai Havertz, before he signed Martin Odegaard and players like that. If he did all that, he's saying right here, no chance in hell he would sign some of them. Like, did he do all this when he signed Kivior, Calafiori, Willian, Pablo Mari? Who else is there? Cedric Suarez? Fabio Vieira? Like, did he do all that? On the January market in general, it's a question for Jason, honestly. Jason. Isn't that the guy from Friday 13th or something like that? Jason. Yeah. That's not for me. How is that not for you? Since it's been heavily spread in the news that you are the guy who has input on who we sign and ultimately you make the final decision. It was on your name that you signed Havertz. It's your name that you signed Sterling and players like that. How is not that a question for you? Like seriously, how is that not a question for him? Big utter BS. Genuinely big utter BS. I'm not gonna lie. Big utter BS. Anyways. Quick starting 11 and then we're gonna wrap it up. So, in goal, obviously, David Raya. Right back. If I see Partey as a right back, I'm gonna throw hands. Center backs. Has to be Kivior, doesn't it? Gabriel. Since Skelly is injured, he most likely is gonna play Calafiori. But I would go for Kieran Tierney. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going for Kieran Tierney. I don't care. By the way, remember when Arteta before the Zagreb game said he doesn't want to play left-footed defenders in the right center-back spot? 24 hours later, he proceeds with playing a left-footed Kivior as the right center-back. Make it make sense. Anyways, the midfield is pretty much predictable as a house door, most likely. Partey and, well, Rice. Now, I would put Martinelli on the left wing. Havertz is undroppable, of course, and there's nobody else for it to play there. But for the right wing, don't give a crap. I'm putting Ethan Vanieri there. That would be my starting 11 for the game tomorrow against Wolves. Should be good enough to do the job. I swear to God, if I see Timber as a center back and Thomas Partey as a right back, I will be pissed off till the end. To the max. Just put it that way. I will be pissed off to the max. I'm not gonna lie. Big up Kwame. Take care. Big up, big up, big up. Too much minutes for Timber. That is the big issue. That is the big issue here. Because Ben White is injured. He's coming back. He will be back in about 3 weeks, I would assume, in training properly. And that is the thing. Can he withstand 3 more weeks of this? Obviously. That is the big issue here. Because as soon as White is back, Timber needs some breaks. That for me is the big issue. Since we don't have another right back, because Arteta is a moron, he goddamn well knew in summer that White will need a surgery. And he decided not to get even a random right back. He's not using anyone from the team, from the youth team, which means ultimately either we're going to see tomorrow Timber as a right back or a center back. If we see Timber as a center back, Partey will be at right back. If we don't see that, I don't know. Maybe he will play someone, a youngster, as a right back. Who knows? I doubt that very much, but who the goddamn knows? But Timber is very, very insane minutes at the moment, and the fact that he has just come back from ACL injury, pretty much at the midsummer, and we are putting such a heavy load on him. Pause. It is not good. Genuinely not good at all. But yeah, this is my starting 11. I expect the game at Molineux to be very hard. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win. I think Arsenal will win it 2-1, solely due to the fact that we just won against Zagreb, and it will have some feel-good moments, and we will actually play some football. I think so, at least, right? I'm going for a 2-1 win. I'm gonna be optimistic for this time. I know I predicted a 2-2 draw against Villa, and it happened. I predicted a win against United, we lost. I predicted a win against Newcastle, a draw against Newcastle, and we lost, quite evidently. Obviously, I predicted a win against Zagreb, and we won. So I'm gonna predict a win against Wolves as well. 2-1 win, or 3-1 win. You know what? Let's go 3-1. 3-1 win for Arsenal against Wolves at Molineux. That is my prediction. Hey. Calma. Not a top gunner. I just think we will do it. Liverpool will surprisingly drop points, you're saying. What is the Premier League schedule? Who are Liverpool playing? Ipswich at Anfield? You really think they will drop points to Ipswich at goddamn Anfield? What? No chance in hell. I'm not a top gunner. I think Arsenal will do the job. I think. We all know what happens when we think. We thought we're gonna beat Sporting. We thought we're gonna beat Olympiacos. We thought we're gonna beat Manchester United. We thought we're gonna beat Bournemouth. We thought we're gonna win the league. We thought we're gonna sign proper players. We thought Kroenke will do good. Well, we didn't, but for the second line, we thought Ek was gonna buy Arsenal, and we thought this and that and the other. If you're right, we'll be coming back to this all season. What do you mean? If I'm right, we'll be coming back to this all season. If I'm right about what? Oh my god, did I say something stupid? Please don't judge me. Talking about kill switch prediction. Pool surprise. Oh, about Ipswich. Oh, dude. If we come back to this all season for the fact that Liverpool drew or lost to Ipswich, I don't see it happening. That is, overconfidence is a very bad thing, obviously. It's just the fact that I don't see it happening. Liverpool just have too much to offer, I think. We'll see. Anyways, I'm saying Arsenal will win 3-1 tomorrow. That is my prediction for the game. My starting 11, and that is about that. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. Predictions, everything done. Dude, it would be wild if Liverpool drop points to Ipswich. The worst part is in this, right? Imagine Liverpool drop points to Ipswich, and we drop points to them as well, and we drop points to Wolves. That would be the worst thing, arguably. But anyways, I will wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you still haven't, smash thumbs up. It helps a lot, helps the algorithm and everything. Subscribe if you're new around here. Like the thing, leave your comments down below. Take care, enjoy football tomorrow in general, because football is again back this weekend. And yeah, see you at 8 p.m. UK time tomorrow, and let's see whether it's gonna be a happy stream or it's gonna be a pissed off ranting stream, and that genuinely nobody wants to see, let's be honest. But yeah, time will tell. Enjoy football tomorrow. Have a great evening. Stay safe. Big up everyone, and